Hello YouTubers, so I'm going to do the close-up test or macro test. Basically I'll have a look in the default settings and then I'll put it into macro mode and see what the differences are. So this is set on the default settings in 720p at 30 frames per second. Image stabilization is on, I've got it on a tripod, and now we shall see how the autofocus works. So that's not too bad, that's about 2 or 3 inches away. Getting closer. Let's see if the zoom works. I'm using the zoom. It doesn't really work that well with the focus. So can't really get that close in default mode. Some smaller text there. So now let's try a smaller device. That's not too bad, I suppose. But this is without the macro on. So now what I'm going to do is try it with the macro to see what the difference is with the macro on. Okie dokie. Right, so now I have the macro mode on. So let's see what the difference is now. Now that's pretty good. Sorry about the shakiness. I mean, that's nearly touching the case of the actual camera itself. So that's pretty clear, I would say. So the macro makes a huge difference. I mean, that's it right up against it. I've got the actual game is pressed right up against the camera itself, and it still is quite, I mean, it's readable. Okay, it's slightly out of focus, but you can read it, which is pretty good, I would say. And it refocuses to normal. So let's see what this is like. Smaller text. Obviously I've got to get my hands in there. So that's right up against the lens. So that is pretty good macro, I would say. And the good thing is that unlike other devices, you can actually use the macro at the same time as using the normal. So you could sort of have, like the ladies that do their makeup reviews, you can have your makeup in your hand here, and then if you want to go in closer to, say, do the text, you can do it. So that is pretty good macro, I would say. But then I think the DC1 had macro, which was more or less the same. So obviously if you're going to do close-ups, I would say stick the macro on. You can also manually focus it yourself if you want to. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. Now what about zooming in? I'm zooming in. Not that you really need to, but it doesn't really work with the zoom. So leave that as is. Yeah, it sort of struggles when you zoom in. See? So you're actually better if you move it yourself. Okay, well, that's enough of the macro stroke close-up test. Hello YouTubers, so let's have a look at the record button to see what the play options are. So we go into the record button. There's a video that I recorded earlier, and basically to select it you just press on the settings joystick and it will play back the video. To stop and come back out of it you push down on the joystick and it will stop it and take it out. So let's go into the menu settings, and we have the slideshow setting, and this is basically what you get in the slideshow. You can rearrange all of these settings to how you want it to be if you want to do a slideshow. Menu to go back, creative control again, so you can add these to the video after it's been recorded. I think you can also add it to any pictures that you take. As you can see, miniature and time-lapse are not in there, obviously, because they wouldn't be effects that you could actually add to an already recorded video or picture. So the play volume you can change, you can add protection, you can delete. The rotate, resize and red eye I think is, it's only available on pictures. Then you go into the edit and you can cut the video, or you can add two videos together, so that if you had to pause it for any reason then you can combine the two videos together afterwards. Then you have copy, and then it goes into the normal settings, which is in the normal setup. So that is the playback mode, and that's it. I think when you hook up the AV lead or the HDMI lead, I think you get the same kind of options as you do here. I will double check that for you guys just to make sure, but that's the playback menu settings. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll do some more later on. Okay, bye bye for now.